Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jay Acres. My name is Noelle. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you like what you see. Give a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell for notification of new videos. So, quick intro for those of you who don't know us and are new. We live on a 10-acre farm, and we share a lot of homesteading, which you have seen in the last few videos with my husband. And we also share a lot of cooking from scratch, because now in these days and times, that's such a valuable knowledge to have, an ability to cook things from scratch. So we share that with you as well. We're also sharing our journey as we are getting away from the big box grocery stores and relying more on local farms and organic foods. So if that is something you're interested in, then make sure you subscribe and stick around. We're also on a journey, which we will talk to you guys about turning this farm into a business. And so we will share our plan with you on that and let you know what's kind of going on. That just kind of happened overnight without much effort at all. We became a business, and yeah, we weren't prepared for that. I'll share all that with you here in a little bit. Oh, and I also share my weight loss journey on these weight loss injections that I'm doing. So if any of that interests you, make sure you just stick around. All right, so today, you guys, we're gonna do, Charles has some work with tomatoes. You guys see I've so many tomatoes already. Hallelujah, we got that going, because this has been the year of the critters. They have definitely won and beat us this year in our gardens. Charles showed you my turkeys in the video a few videos ago, I think 2 videos ago, and you guys, they have stole my heart. I did not know I was going to fall in love with turkeys. I just absolutely love them. They are just, I don't know. Everybody else in this family is like, why? You're not allowed to get attached to the food. You know the rule. I'm like, yeah, I can't help it. I love the little turkeys. So next year, Kate is going to hatch me out some eggs in the incubator, and I'm going to have some heritage turkeys because I would like them to be a permanent part of the farm here, because I just am loving turkeys. But I'll show you more of those in the near future, I am sure. And then we're going to jump in today. We're going to do some cooking. Brooke all the girls are home. And so Brooke wants to know how to make Mississippi chicken. But because I don't buy the pre-packaged stuff, we need to make up some ranch seasoning mix, and we need to make up some, like, a chicken gravy mix. And then I will show you how, if you don't know how to make Mississippi chicken, how to make it while I show her, because it's so easy to do. And I'll just send some of the homemade dry mixes with her when she leaves tomorrow. Today's Sunday, so she'll leave tomorrow back to college. Guys, pardon the big mark on my nose. I was cleaning up the area. The girls all had work this morning. They all had to be out of the house at 7 o'clock in the morning. You got curling irons everywhere. They can't put them away because they have to cool. They have to run out the door, so I'm winding them up, the cords, and straightening that area, and the cord pops up and whacks me right in the face. So that's what happened there. All right, so real quick, I just want to answer 2 comments and questions over the last few videos, and then we're going to jump into stuff. But that way I know that this is not something that just one person is wondering, curious about. I know there's multiple of you that are curious about these 2 questions, so we'll just go on and put it out there now. So, 1, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with my face? What's wrong with me? And what's wrong with my hands? What's wrong with my arms? Those of you who've been with me for a while, you know what it is. I have an autoimmune disease that attacks the pigment in my skin. And so they're just very obvious in the summertime, because the parts of my skin that still has color tans and the rest does not. It doesn't have any pigment. It will never have pigment. That will continue to just get worse and worse as I get older. So that's just the way I'm made. So nothing is wrong with me. I'm not sick or anything like that. That's just how I'm made. It's just what it is. It started in my early 20s. And as far as I know, there's no known cure for it or anything like that. So that's all that is. And so you will see on my hands and stuff, white spots in my face, and it just is what it is. Second comment that I get, and I know so many people feel this way, and that is, I really like Noelle and Charles, but how can they raise their animals and kill them and eat them? I don't understand that. I would go vegan or vegetarian first. I think so many people feel that way, and maybe I could relate, but I have tried, if you guys have followed me for a long time, I tried the vegan vegetarian thing for many years, and we actually were vegan for a year. We ate, or I guess plant-based is what you would call it, for a year, and I was so sick. It is not for us at all. I feel so much better on meat. My family does. I do believe that everybody needs to eat meat. That will never in my life happen again, if by my choice. If, though, you ever want to watch a vegan documentary, I strongly suggest it, because they will show you how animals are raised and treated in big box places. It is not good. They are treated so badly. They are so sickly. They are pumped full of stuff. They have no room to even move. They're on top of each other. They live a miserable, miserable, horrible life. And then they're served to you at the grocery store. I don't want to partake in that. Our animals are not treated like that at all. Our animals are loved on every day. Our animals are taken care of. They are the cutest animals ever. I love and adore all of them, except for meat birds. They freak me out a little bit, but you know, they're very well taken care of. They're moved onto fresh grass every day. All of our animals are very well loved, and like I said, they live a happy life. They want for nothing. They freely enjoy all the things an animal should enjoy. And so I would much rather eat that and know that my animal had a happy life, and thank it every time we go to eat something. We thank it for the sacrifice that it made to feed our family. The connection that you have when you do that to your food is something that unless you do it yourself, you will never understand. It is very different, and I highly recommend, if ever you are able to, get away from the big box stuff. Go to a local farm, get your chicken, get your beef, get your pork from local farms, your dairy. It tastes so different. It is so much better. Obviously, look at your farms and make sure you know that the animals' conditions are good. We let people freely tour our farm if they want to when they're buying eggs or anything from us, because we have, you know, our animals are treated great, and we have no problem showing people that. But I highly suggest doing that, because once you really taste the difference and you see the difference in everything, from eggs to dairy to, like I said, beef, pork, chicken, lamb, whatever it is you want, it is night and day. It's just night and day, and the quality of life that these animals have is just superior to those from the big box store. So there you have it. That, I hope, answers both of those questions. I know that it's not for everybody to go out and butcher your own animals. I get it, but that's how we're able to do it, and I would never trade it and do it any other way at this point. All right, that being said, let's make a super fast breakfast. Charles needs to eat something real quick, and then he's got work to do outside. It is Sunday, and like I said, I need to get that stuff made to show Brooke how to get this in the crock pot, because we need to get it started. It's about 9:30 in the morning. So let's get that going. All right, trying to get it in here for you guys. So we just got some homemade Greek yogurt here. Charles likes his thinner, so I made a batch that was really thin, but then I also made a batch that I like crazy thick like that, and I just drizzled some honey on top of mine. Now his, I'm gonna add some of this homemade strawberry jam to his. So his will be a strawberry yogurt, and mine is just plain yogurt with some honey. Super fast, easy breakfast. And this tastes so good. It tastes like those old fruit on the bottom, back in the day kind of yogurts. They're very good, but his favorite's Yoplait, so this is more of like a Yoplait type yogurt situation. And then this is, of course, more of a Greek yogurt situation. All right, hopefully it's sweet enough because I didn't try yours yet. So we can both take a bite.
Mine's fine.
Fine?
Well, you said sweet enough. Let me rephrase. I think it's plenty sweet enough.
Is it as sweet as me?
Nothing is as sweet as you.
All right, we're gonna eat this real quick. And then we're gonna make up the ranch dressing and the chicken gravy mix so we can get this Mississippi chicken. And y'all, I gotta show you this. This is my view looking out the window. Can you guys see it? It's our cat up on the roof. He's a nut. That's a goose.
I think it's because above that peak is Kate's window, so it can see in the window too.
Oh, maybe. So I can see what's going on in the house. It's such a nut. Okay, so I got 2 jars here because I'm going to end up sending, like I said, this with Brooke. So the first thing I'm going to do is make the ranch, the dry ranch. So here I'm going to start with 1/4 cup of dry parsley. And yes, I make a mess always. It's just who I am, I guess. Okay. And then let me just pull my spices over here. And then we're going to do a teaspoon of dried dill. I love dill. I think dill is one of those, you love it or you hate it. I love dill. 2 teaspoons of garlic powder.
You just like it because it's kind of a big deal.
The recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of minced onion. I don't have minced onion, but I do have onion powder. So I'm going to do about 1 teaspoon of onion powder because I find that to get kind of strong. Mine is getting kind of dried out. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay. A teaspoon of mustard powder. Thank you, Ginger, for getting me that big mustard. Use it all the time. Teaspoon. I'm just going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Maybe even a hair bit less, because I think that would be a little bit too spicy. And then a tablespoon of dried chives. Can never have too many chives, right? Now, if I didn't need all my jam jars, I would send this to her in a jam jar. But I need my jam jars. So here, I'm just going to put on the lid. Shake this up good. And there is a Quick Ranch seasoning mix. This should last. I don't know. I'll probably use half of it and I'll send half with her. So it should make like 2 Mississippi chickens. All right, next we're gonna do the poultry seasoning. Or the like mix, gravy, instant gravy mix. So here we're gonna start off with 1 cup of flour. Now the recipe calls for chicken bouillon powder. if you want to use that, add 4 tablespoons of that. I do not use chicken bouillon powder. So instead of mixing this with water or something like that, if I was making gravy, I would just use a chicken broth to mix this with. So instead, I'm gonna just add a little bit of poultry seasoning to this. I probably did about 1.5 teaspoons of poultry seasoning there. Then I'm gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Brooke doesn't like things super spicy, so I don't want to make any of it too spicy. And pepper seems to make things a little bit spicy. 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. A 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Again, I'm probably gonna have to get a different onion powder. I don't know why mine is so. It's almost like it got wet. And then it calls for a 1/2 teaspoon of sage, but I really don't have sage right now. I do have that in my order. Sadly, that is one thing I did not grow this year. So I'm gonna do just a little bit more of the poultry seasoning that has sage in it. And then it also calls for a 1/2 teaspoon of marjoram and a 1/2 teaspoon of rosemary. It's up to you if you guys want to use that or not. I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. I think that'll give it plenty of flavor. And put a lid on it, shake it up. The only thing I do want to add to this too, though, that it does not call for is some salt. I'm guessing it doesn't call for the salt because it calls for the, I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of salt because it calls for the bouillon powder, and that would have a lot of salt in it. If I had a freeze dryer, I would make my own bouillon, but I don't. And I don't know that I'll ever get one because I've heard that they're very expensive to run as far as the electric bill. So I don't know that that would be worth it. There we go. We got our 2 right here. If you have sage, I would totally add sage. I love sage. I just ran out of the sage we grew last year. And so in my next Azure order, I have a pound of sage coming. Okay, so now we're going to put this together real fast. My chicken breasts are still frozen. I'm just going to open up a pack of this chicken breast. Come over here because they cannot see. Look, only thing they can see is the crock pot. Okay. So come over, I want you to actually watch. Right. Okay, so you should get the chicken breast out. Bit thawed, that works too, but I just want to show how easy it is. She can do it frozen. Super, super easy. You get a hand there saying hello. This is one of Brooke's favorite dinners, to make this with rice. Super easy while she's in school. She can quickly just do this. Next, we're going to take a spoon here. And I have our dried ranch. Just give it a little toss like that to make sure. Well, actually, you'll probably just pour the whole thing on when you do your batch at school because I'm going to use half of it now. It's in half of it with you. Okay, so then I'm going to just put a couple spoons of that right on top. You see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay. You would use a whole packet of ranch if you were using like a ranch packet from home or from the store. You would just use a whole packet of ranch. This is your gravy mix. You would just use a chicken gravy mix. I'm just going to do 1 big spoon of it. Okay.
Okay.
That's it. We can write it down.
Gotcha.
And then, so easy. You're going to take 1 stick of butter, which I will send with you.
Ooh.
butter. So send everything you need with you. You just got to put it together. And then top it with a stick of butter.
Wow, right on top.
Right on top, that's it. Really nothing to it. And then this is
I love
pepperoncini.
these
And I poured just a little bit. Did you see that? Just a little bit of the juice on top. And then, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. She doesn't like it super spicy, and neither does Charles, or I would add a lot more peppers and a lot more juice. I like
Yeah.
spicy. Me and Kate and Jake and Ash all like spicy. Brooke and Ronnie and Charles, not so much.
Yeah.
And Theo definitely doesn't. But that's it. This gets a top on, and it gets put on low.
Add
That's
any
it.
more water to
Nope,
it? or
that's it.
anything?
That's the only thing you do.
Wow.
This
Okay.
just cooks on low. Because it's frozen, it might take 10 hours. Just you'll know when it's done because you can shred it really good.
And then I can just leave it. I don't have to.
You leave it, go to school, do all your stuff,
Sweet.
and you're good to go.
Okay.
You just have to start your rice when you get home.
Sweet. That's epic.
Okay, so while that's cooking real quick, we're gonna just talk real quick for a minute where I told you guys we kind of started a business without really even trying to start a business. So we have a new guy that we love watching. He's not new, he's been on YouTube for a while. We just found him, I don't know, maybe a month ago, just a few
Somewhere around in
acres.
there.
Let's scooch a little bit because the lighting keeps going up. Just a few acres, and he talks about how he turned his homestead into a business. And he sells at markets and stuff, chicken and beef and all of this stuff. So why are you standing behind me like that?
Well, because I think this light
He's
makes
freaking
my
me
hair
out.
look extra gray today.
Oh my goodness. All right, now we're turning here. There is nothing there. Now stand on that side, right there. Stop and be still.
I don't see the X on the floor for where I'm supposed to stand.
No more moving. Okay, so anyway, we watched just a few acres. And then we did our first chicken butchering ourselves. Our first big chicken butchering. We had already butchered some of our chickens and we were eating them. And that was dual purpose birds. We did like, it's definitely more of a gamey taste. But I think that in stuff like soups, stews, chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie, that kind of stuff, I think is perfect because it's very rich in flavor. But we tried meat birds for the first time.
And by meat birds, the Cornish cross, specifically.
Cornish cross. They freak me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of them growing the meat birds. They freak me out. Because I've been growing chickens now for so long. They grow very different, they're very different. I said, oh, we're not doing this again. I don't enjoy it. And then it came time to do the butchering. And we did it, and it took us a long,
Better part of a whole
day. I mean, we are talking, we started at like 9 in the morning, and we did not stop until 11 o'clock that night. It was a long day, but we're new butchers, so
Yeah.
it takes a long time. By the end, I was able to do my side of things, which was all the end of it, in 3 minutes flat.
Yeah.
So it was more waiting on his side, which just takes longer.
And that 11 o'clock time frame included cleaning up, getting everything to where we could walk away from it at the end
Minimal
of the day.
cleanup. We
Yeah.
did most cleanup
Yeah.
the next day. It was minimal cleanup. And anyway, so it was a very, very long day. We could both barely walk by the next day because you're standing up at the time. You're hunched over. It's back breaking. It was a lot of work. So out of the blue, though, the next day, I think it was the next day or 2 days later, I think, I said, you know what? I wonder if there even is an interest, because once it wore off, the soreness and everything, I was like, that wasn't so bad. I mean, it was a day spent together, him and I out there working our butt off for a goal together, which is cool as a couple.
And I think being a couple days later, we'd had an opportunity to look at what we did and
be
figure
proud
out,
of it.
not only be proud of it, but figure out we're going to do this again, because we were going to do it again for us. What could we do differently to make it go a little bit faster, to make it go a little bit easier? And I think there was a lot of positive things that we found that we could
Right. Sorry, I'm gonna look up a picture because I want to share this picture. Then
do. I
Oh
can
my
just add the
goodness.
picture.
Well, I just was gonna show it. There's no need to do fancy editing. if we don't have to.
You just don't want to do the fancy editing.
No, I don't enjoy
You don't
it.
want me to go, we'll put that picture right here.
I don't know where it is. I need his phone to do it. He'll have to get me his phone. But anyway,
Or fancy edit.
so he took it. I'm not going to fancy edit. You can put in a picture of them.
I'll put it
He'll
in the
fancy
picture.
edit and put a picture right here.
No, I'm going to put it right here.
And he'll show you the picture that we shared. So anyway, he is on a app out here called Nextdoor app. So it's connects you with people in your neighborhood, in your area. And I am on a Facebook group of a local county Facebook group. So it connects us with people in our county. And I do that, just kind of follow and see what's going on, find farmers markets, things like that local to me. And he does it to find free stuff or really cheap stuff to fix up the homestead and build things. So anyway, I said, why don't we just post this picture that he's going to show you. So why don't we just post this picture up and just see if there's any interest, and maybe we can do something kind of like just a few acres did. And we can't section it or anything. I section it for us. I break down the chicken into like legs and thighs and all of that. But I'm not good enough to make it look perfect to sell yet. I said, so only whole chickens. And it was the second day because I had to put them in the freezer that night or the next day. I had to get them in the freezer by the next day. So I guess it was the third day we had done it. Anyway, and I said, let's just put it out there, see. And we just said, is there any interest in this chicken that we have raised? And I expected nothing from it, walked away. He posted, walked away. All of a sudden, my phone went berserk. Like crazy, insane. And within a couple hours, and that's only because it took me so long to get to everybody, we had sold 22 of our chickens that people came the next day and picked up. And this was late at night. And that we did it. And the rest I was keeping for us. I was not doing it. And not only did we sell that, but our next batch of birds that are going out have already been sold what we're willing to sell of that. There is a waiting list. And now there is going into the waiting list in the birds in November. It just kind of extremely blew up. And no expectations of that at all. We were just like, well, maybe people will comment, yeah, I'm kind of interested, or yeah, I would do that. What would you pay? Other people commented and said, people won't pay what you got to pay to make it worth it because it costs money to raise birds this way. It's not as cheap as raising them in the big box. We're not a big box person. So it takes money. We buy a high quality feed. We move them on the grass all the time. And then the time spent butchering is definitely, you know, you have to figure that in there some too. So it makes it more expensive to sell. We didn't know if anybody'd even want to sell it. So we talked about it before we even posted. Or actually, no, we talked about it once we started getting all this information. It was like, what do we even charge? So we started looking around, what do people charge around us? And then what we felt like, okay, that would be okay for us. And it just blew up. It just crazy blew up. We also, most of our turkeys are already sold because they want our turkeys as well. And more people want eggs. And they ask if we will start doing our pork and our beef. I mean, it just is crazy because I think so many people are getting tired of the grocery stores.
Pork and beef are on the back burner right now.
Well, they are, because we can't do that on our farm and sell it to the public. We have to go through a certified butcher. But chickens, you can. So now we do, the beef and pork is just for us for right now. But we do sell eggs. We do sell now chicken, which we did not expect to be doing.
So the ones we were going to do in November, we were going to keep the quantity small, keep it at 50. Had not expected having so much interest in it, but with us turning around and having some that we are going to, the second batch we're going to butcher, we've got some of those already secured, and then we could run into November. We actually doubled the November to be 100. And at this point, I think, because there's some interest in all organic. I think we're going to do about a fourth of those, so we'll do 25 of them organic. I've already got the price on the feed, but it does make a significant cost jump in organic. If nobody wants to buy the organic, we'll eat the organic, that's fine. But I think we're going to do the organic as well. But totally just took us by surprise in the number of them that there was that much community interest. And we had seen her Facebook stuff, and we got the 22 off the Facebook stuff. I had not been able to find the post until a few days ago for the stuff I had put on Nextdoor, but I had about 18 responses on Nextdoor that we still need to look at too.
All right, so there you have it. That's how we kind of overnight became a business without really even trying to become a business. And again, now that has taken off, so now we have to look into next year and putting all our plans into next year, and when we're going to start with all the selling chickens and the eggs and other aspects of it as we go more into a business. So we'll talk more about that on another video. All right, so I got a bunch of nectarines from Azure Standard. I have a bunch of them and they're all going ripe, and I need to make something with that. So we are going to make instead of a peach cobbler, a nectarine cobbler. All right, so here I have some of our nectarines. You can see some are small, some are tiny, some are okay size. And it's a little over $20 for a really good size big box of nectarines. So if you can't get your hand on some good peaches, nectarines work just the same. They're just not fuzzy. So I've got some water back here getting ready to boil. And then I'm just going to do a quick blanch on these, and then we'll get the skins peeled so we can get these ready for the cobbler. Then I also have in here my baking dish with some butter in it. And I'm going to go on and pop this in the oven at 350 degrees to let this get melted. Then I'm just going to start putting these here into this water that's almost to a boil. We'll see if that's enough. I might need to do a couple more because they're really small. We'll see how that goes. But we're going to let those just kind of sit in there for just a few minutes. So if you have never made cobblers, cobblers are so easy. I think they're one of the easiest desserts out there. You can make them with anything. Any like excess fruit you have, or if you have pie filling, or just even canned fruit, you can make any kind. You can make apple, you can make pear, you can make blackberry, raspberry, strawberry, peach, anything. You can mix fruits up and make a mixed cobbler of different kinds, and it's all going to be the same thing, the same basic recipe for all of it. Just change up the fruit that you want to use, and it's super easy. Anybody can do it. It's really, really that easy. Here's how we're gonna do. You can get it going. I told you I already got the peaches going. Next, we're gonna go out and make up the batter. I've already got in my oven the butter melting. So let's make the super fast batter that goes on this as well. So some people refer to this as the cup method because you're gonna do, I have a half cup measure here, but you're gonna do 1 cup of flour. You're gonna do 1 cup of sugar. I just use a pure cane sugar. You are also gonna add 1 cup of milk. So that's your cup, a cup, a cup. A cup of flour, a cup of sugar, a cup of milk. But on top of that, you also need something to make it rise. So you're gonna add a tablespoon of baking powder. Then you need to add a little bit of salt. Adding salt to sweet stuff really actually brings out the sweet. You should always have a little bit of salt when you are making sweet stuff. So a pinch of salt, doesn't need to be very much at all. And then we're gonna add our cup of milk. So here is, oh, that was perfect, a cup of milk. Exactly what was left in that half gallon of mine. And give this a quick little stir up. And now this is also ready to go. So this comes together really, really fast. The longest part is just really the baking. If you're using already a pie filling or berries or something, you don't have to like do a quick little cook on it so that you can get the peels off, a quick blanch, then this goes even faster. All right, now we'll set that aside. Here's the other thing. If I was to just eat these nectarines, they are plenty sweet enough. They are delicious. But when you bake them and you put them in this concoction, they lose some of that sweetness. So I know you already have a cup of sugar here, but we are gonna add a little bit of sugar to the peaches as well, because they do lose some sweetness. And that is with anything, any of the fruits that you cook. The only thing I don't add any kind of sugar to when we can or anything is apples with applesauce. We actually prefer unsweetened applesauce without cinnamon or anything, just homemade unsweetened applesauce is our favorite. But everything else you add just a little bit. I always do the lightest syrup when I'm canning and stuff like that because it doesn't take much sugar, but when cooking it does lose some of that sweetness. So you can have the sweetest, juiciest, perfect peach or nectarine, and then it's going to taste bitter a little bit when you cook it in a cobbler or anything else. You need that little bit of sugar to add to it. So let's get these peaches out. And you can see this is starting to puff up. That baking powder is some good stuff. All right, then the peaches just go straight into a ice bath. Oh, skins are already just coming right on off. Perfect. Then I'm gonna just dump this water out this pan or pot that I'm already using here. Because I'm gonna cut these peaches up and I'm gonna add them back to this pot here so that we can cook it just a hair with the sugar in, just to kind of get the sugar melted. So the first thing though I'm gonna do is just peel off all these peach or nectarine. Charles actually prefers nectarines because he doesn't like the fuzzy feeling of peaches. Luke, I think, likes both. I think I prefer peaches, but nectarines are definitely rank up there with them. I just feel like peaches are just a little bit sweeter. So I'm just gonna do this real quick. Well, quick as I can. It's not, I guess, super quick. And then I will show you what we're doing after that. Okay, so next I'm just gonna take and slice up my peaches. I'm sorry, nectarines. And it's smelling like my butter is about done as well. If there is, you know, a tiny drop of the peel still on, that's just not a big deal. That was actually looking a little rough. And I'll just do this with all of them. Thought I smelled the butter browning a little bit. That's fine. I don't want to pull that out. All right. So over here I have the butter that has gotten all melty. I'll show you that here in a second, but let's go back to this. Peaches. Just to retain color, we are going to add a drop of lemon juice. And then I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of sugar. Just go on and put this on high because I'm just cooking this down for a minute just to get the sugar melted that's in here. That's all. There's no, like, it doesn't have to be cooked fruit or anything like that. I just want to get that in there. All right, and then over here, I'll put you guys over closer where you can see, is our melted butter. Next, just on top of that, you are going to pour your batter. And you are not going to stir anything. You're just going to pour your batter. Again, without stirring anything at all. Sorry, you guys couldn't even see. If you wanted, you could add some cornstarch to that, but you can't see the sugar everywhere, so that's really good enough. So now, back over to our cobbler. Over here, I am just going to start spooning the peaches in the syrup in here. I'm sorry, the nectarines. Nectarines and peaches are, to me, are really just the same thing. Just difference in the skin. Let's get all those good fruit in there. As this cooks, it will all like just kind of cook up around it. It will turn just delicious. Absolutely delicious. Sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon. Now I buy my cinnamon in bulk, that's why you see it in a big jar like this. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle that on here. Then you top it with just a little bit more sugar. It just gives like a crunchy, sugary top. There's just a sprinkle. And now this goes in the oven at 350, probably about 40 minutes to 50 minutes until it's nice and golden brown on top. All right, while that's cooking, let's just go take a peek at Charles and see what he's up to. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'll try and zoom in there. Charles is out there hard working. He had some damage done. Some of our trees from storms, branches and stuff down, so he's trying to get all that picked up. He's a busy, busy bee. It's another hot one today. So we'll have to run him some water here in a minute. All right, we brought him some water. We brought you ice water.
Thank you. I am milking my electric one until I can get to the gas station.
Oh.
So I gotta leave soon.
Yep.
Kate. I think.
Yeah,
Waiting.
we're down to one car right now. Those of you that didn't know, I talked about my car the other day, and sadly it is being worked on. It's in the shop. Kid's car is out of commission, so we're down to one car right now. So he's got to go take everybody to and from work.
That's all this poor little one can do to get through some of this stuff. It's
That's
really
the only
meant
one
for
I'm
the backyard.
That's the only one I'm comfortable using.
And in the backyard, it would be great.
Yeah, I don't like his big monster one.
Yeah.
That scares me.
We'll get that gas one underway. I gotta get all this cleaned up and
babe, it's 1:30, so you do need to check and make sure she hasn't messaged
I've
you.
texted her.
Oh, okay.
I've checked a couple times. In fact, Gina, one of our customers, pulled in the driveway.
Oh, she did?
Eggs. Yeah, she texted me on her way through because she's like, I pass through here all the time. She goes, so I keep forgetting to message you to see if you've got your eggs ready.
How many does she want?
She wants 4.
Okay,
So
I'll
have
go
to
get them
her
ready.
4
Is she going to come back later today or tomorrow?
Or tomorrow, probably.
Okay, I'll get them ready.
I just told her we'd let her know when we're ready.
She's here every week.
I'm like, you didn't text me, did you? And she's like, yeah. And I looked, and sure enough, 5 minutes before she pulled in the driveway, she had texted me. I'm like, oh, okay.
All right, I'm gonna go back up to the house. I don't like standing here at the side of the road. You walking
It
back?
has its moments. My poor little.
It's a busy, busy road. It's like a highway. Well, it is a little highway.
Like all kinds of stuff to pick up.
Yes. This tree got hit. We don't know about this tree, guys. I think we're gonna tear it down because it is only pretty in the spring. It's the most weird tree. It gets green in the spring, and then it has some flowers on it, and it's pretty.
Very
and
pretty
then
blossoms, yeah.
very pretty blossoms. Then after that, this is what it looks like. That's it. And there's 2 of them, and they just stay like they are dead trees all the rest of the year.
Here, I'll show you.
And then we had a big a big branch fall down in the storms, and it's like, oh, that one just needs to go. We've got another tree, if you can see it out there. We keep waiting for the storms to tear that one down. It's really dead. It needs to go. This little pine tree needs to go. We definitely have some work.
At this point, it's rotten. Well, probably a foot deep. I don't know if you can see in there or not. That goes down at least a foot.
Yeah, it is getting all rotten in the inside.
Yeah, and all of this is just all.
I think it's been hit.
It might have. It might have. I think the bark is just the way the bark is, but I'm all eaten out in here and in here. It's just.
Yeah,
know,
it just needs to
carpenter
go.
ants or termites.
It
or
looks-
probably carpenter ants.
It's just an eyesore, all except for in the spring. That's it. That's the only time. You can see, oh wait, there's the tiniest drop of green leaf right there. That's it. I mean, that is all you get all year.
And it may not look great and do well because of the fact it's sitting right on the edge of the septic bed. So there's a lot of gravel and stuff down in here. And the roots may just have issues over time.
I don't know, but then what about that one?
Well,
Because it
it's on
does the
other
exact same
edge.
thing.
Yeah.
And then,
And
like I
this pine
said, this
tree's
one's
the
got to
same
go.
way. Yeah.
Not the one behind it. I don't know if you guys can see this one right here. Not my big pretty ones. The one right here.
This one might have survived if it had not been for the windstorm about 3 years ago we had, and it literally pushed it over.
It uprooted it, and then he tied it down, and you can see, I mean, it's just mostly dead. Most of the bottom is dead. It's got a little bit of life on the top. And then you guys,
We got that other one back there.
Yeah, the other one back
part
there.
of the septic bed. I'd say it's right in the septic row.
oh, it's just awful. And then, you know, I love to sit on my front porch, my beautiful front porch, and look out onto the beautiful farmlands. And they sold the beautiful farm across the street. You can already see trees and stuff ripped up. You guys,
It's depressing.
we're so sad. So our neighbor called us and he said he knows the guy that bought the property over there. It went up on the market. It's beautiful. What is it? 14-acre
14
farm.
acre.
Beautiful. And what did he tell us, babe?
So they're going to keep the house. They're going to keep the barn. They're going to take roughly the 7 acres that are on this side of it, and they're going to put that in as single family homes. And then on the other side of it, where the rest of the property is, he said a barn dominium.
So apartments and houses.
Yeah.
That's what's going there. So our neighbor was not happy at all. We are not happy at all. I'd say everybody in the neighborhood is not going to be happy
He's not
at
going
all.
to be happy because he owns the 20 acres of farmland
Next to our
back
10
in
acres.
here.
Which, you guys, look at that. That is looking gorgeous. I hate living next to him though, because they let him treat the fields and stuff. He rents it out to this farmer. He doesn't do it. He rents it out to a farmer. And they spray it and all that stuff. I don't enjoy
And
that about my property.
You can definitely tell that it thrives due to whatever they're spraying, fertilizers or whatever.
Oh yeah, because like look
Because they
here.
have to go around the tree.
Here is where they can't spray, and here's where they do spray. Big difference, and we don't do any kind of sprays. We do everything all natural. We want no part of any of that. So, you know,
The closest I get to not being all natural is I use Miracle Grow on your rose bushes. That's it.
oh, it is a rose Miracle Grow, and he did do that to the rose, but we don't
That's
use it
it.
anywhere else. I don't like Miracle Grow though, but he
It's
doesn't
roses.
use it
It's rose
anywhere
food.
else. But it's just to get the roses started, And you guys, we showed you we had bought those on clearance before. And most of them, this one has the tiniest drop of green.
Yeah, alive, alive, alive.
Deadish.
Not so much.
Maybe those two will come in the spring.
Alive,
I have hopes.
Alive, alive, not so much. Alive, alive, and alive. So 9 out of 12 survived.
9 out of 12. And when that gets big and beautiful rose bushes,
So
that'll be,
today,
I'll be so happy.
today when I get gasoline, that's the prerequisite, I'll take the string trimmer down in through here and clean all this out, clean the front out, and I'll probably go ahead and take the shovel. And when I made these circular, it was because I was only doing every other one. Now that they're all the way full, I'll just make it a nice even bed. Just dig out the rest of that grass and make it an even bed. And then I still want to do your 4x4 uprights with lattice in between them, and I want to do stained brown treated lumber for the 4x4s, and I want to do light white lattice insets on those. Now these aren't climbers, I know that, they're bushes. I just think the roughly 6 foot high white lattice backdrop with, you know, those roses in front of it are just going to be really pretty, and they will act as a privacy screening from the driveway.
Yeah, and I don't care about seeing a privacy screening from that because I think that's beautiful. But it will also, putting the lattice up behind it will give them a barrier when they come to mess with the fields next door, that they can't come on that side of our property because I don't want my rose bushes tore up. So I wanted him to put something back there.
Well, let's get a poll from our YouTube friends.
About what?
The driveway. I think putting a white fence along this inner edge of the driveway. So if I take out that tree down at the end that's dying, looks dead, take out this little pine tree, that'll just be grass, do a white fence all the way up the driveway.
Yeah, and then he wants to do like a little thing around the tree in the front that then will say Blue Jay Acres as well, so that people know when they come to pick up their chicken or to do whatever as we turn it more into a business, that it looks pretty. And then between these trees right here will be more roses next year. So you'll see a wall of roses on one side and a white fence on the other as people drive up to get their stuff. I think that'll be pretty.
So the question is, aesthetically pretty or too busy? What do y'all think?
Oh, I think it'll be beautiful.
I think it'll be beautiful. It'll be a lot more high maintenance because I'll have to string trim around the fence. But I think it'll be good. And I'll probably do it right where the swale is, because it swales down like right about here. So I'll get the mower along one edge. So it'll probably be just like, I don't know what is that. It's probably 3 feet off the edge of the driveway. Just straight up through there.
Let us know what you guys think. Okay, so here then is the chicken, and I just shredded the meat up. It does have a gravy. I don't know that the camera's really picking it up, but it's got this good gravy in it. I did add just a little bit more salt, but otherwise I think she's going to be thrilled. I'm going to have Brooke do a taste test for you guys. Alright, so to go with this, oh, it's the other rice cooker. I just put it over rice for her. I'd got her this tiny little rice cooker. It makes just enough for her and her roommate. So she was trying that out to make sure it works and everything. And there is her dinner. I'll have her try that. And here is the delicious cobbler, nectarine cobbler. It tastes just like peach cobbler, guys. All right, I'm gonna get Brooke to be your taste tester. All right, so there's my Brooke. Hold on, Brooke.
Move out of the way, please.
And there went Luke.
Should we start?
No, we're good.
Okay. You might have to wait a second.
So this is one of her favorite food. It's more the rice that's very hot, but I want to know how the rice cooker did too. She'll be in there in a minute. I think the rice cooker did great. It's hot, I know.
So good, it's just hot.
And don't you think that's plenty of rice? Look at what's still left. That's plenty of rice for the two of you.
Oh, for sure.
All right, taste the
Whoa,
chicken. Make sure you get
leftovers.
some of the chicken.
I just did.
Did you get some of the chicken too?
Yeah, I got
I know
that.
you got the rice.
I definitely got the raise. It's very good.
Good. All right, baby, try the cobbler.
Okay.
I know it's a hard job to try the cobbler.
Oh, it's such a painful job.
That's not hot because that's been sitting out now for a while. So good.
That's so good. Well, I guess I'm eating dessert first today.
All right, guys, there you have it. It's a hit. She loves it both. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, though. This video's like an hour long because I've kind of been editing as I've been going along my day today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you made it this far. You're a champ. Thank you. Don't forget a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.